Hi, I'm Nancy Chanteau, and I'm here to read to you from Access to Power, a radical approach for changing your life. This is from Chapter 7, Getting Unstuck from Pig Fight to Plan, and I'm just going to start from the beginning. We've talked elsewhere in this book about how real systemic oppression in the world is perpetuated collectively and must be fought collectively. Just as collective action is the antidote to systemic oppression, individual internal action is the antidote to internalized oppression. We must fight the internal forces that weigh us down, much as we fight injustice in our communities, our nation, and the world. This is not to say we must fight internal injustice alone. Collective action is just as important in fighting internalized oppression as it is in fighting systemic external oppression. After all, many of our internalized injunctions come from group experiences, and often a group support can be the best defense against internal injustice. In Skills for Change coaching, we call the process of clearing pig a pig fight. Some people react strongly to the term fight, since it sounds as if we are inciting internal violence. In reality, a good pig fight will most often involve deep compassion and care for ourselves and others. We use the word fight because we consider internalized oppression an assault by large systemic forces on our well-being. We must do the work of choosing language for the process that inspires and supports us. We also speak of soothing the pig, sending the pig on vacation, releasing the pig from the body, finding an antidote for the pig, disarming the pig, and so on. The good news is that it's possible to live mostly pig-free. I say mostly because we are swimming in a sea of cultural and social injunctions to be good, productive, sane, beautiful, healthy, smart, and to belong. These injunctions impact our body daily through verbal and nonverbal communication with others. Also, the media, as well as our own stored patterns of thought, bombard us with messages of perfection. Our pig might get triggered when we see someone who has what we want for ourselves, or when someone speaks or implies an assessment of us or our behavior. For some people, the idea they could live pig-free might be oppressive because they think they should be able to achieve this goal. For others, the very notion of living without pig may produce a vibrant challenge that inspires them to achieve greater peace. We fight our pig when we notice what goals and aspirations inspire us and what thoughts produce heaviness and internal judgment. In this chapter, I will introduce a systemic step-by-step process for fighting pig. As we experiment with the steps, we might find one step more successful or necessary than another. I encourage my clients to organize the steps in a way that makes sense to them and add or take steps away when they aren't helpful. I promise that these tools will begin to clear the mental and physical pig messages, and the emerging sense of freedom builds trust that we can dispel our internal pig as well as the pig in the world around us. The pig fight is a progressive process. Remember, as we fight our pig, we cultivate our spacious adult consciousness, soothe the wounded parts of ourselves, and design a life that works for us. I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I think the language of pig fight can often be alienating for people. And it's really important for each person to find the language that helps them understand what they're doing. This is essentially something that we're taking in at a cosmological level, at a belief level, that this is something, our internalized oppression is something we can do something about, that it's different from us, that it comes from the culture, it comes from our interactions and transactions with authority figures, but much more than that, it comes from this big cultural milieu, the culture, its preferences and values, and then our reactions to them, both in our family system and then school system, peer system, the world. And that in noticing that dynamic, that push and pull between the culture and our own values, that we begin to locate ourselves inside of choice. That the actual process of removing internalized oppression from inside of us is the act of aligning with our own values. And the reason it's a fight is because the values of the culture often are very oppressive and annihilating. And we must fight those annihilating values. I hope this helps.